Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Wow, this week went fast,
Yeah.
right? Talk about entrepreneurial burnout. It was a fast week, wasn't it?
Yep. And I had kids homesick and I feel behind and slightly overwhelmed. And that is life when you are an entrepreneur.
That is life. And I have to tell you, as you know, the reason why we're talking about this is because it is a real common thread among our group program, our
Yeah.
Profit Insiders for Interior Designers, our group program that we'll be rebranding as the Profit Insider Academy soon. So, little announcement there. Here's the thing about burnout. You can't work your best when you're in burnout mode.
No, you cannot.
No, you feel you make mistakes. You suddenly feel like the clients don't like you. They're doing things that are, mean, and it's like unbelievable once you get into that negative mindset of being burnt out and exhausted
Yeah.
that everything seems bad.
And it's so hard to be creative and bring your best when you are just sort of barely eking things out and coming like operating from like this kind of mindset and attitude. You can't be that big, awesome, expansive, creative, visionary designer that you need to be.
No, because people get so locked up with making mistakes too. Like making mistakes is what makes you grow. And I know why you feel like before we came live, Lesley and I always talk a little bit about this topic, and we feel like we talk about this a lot. And I reminded Lesley that, yeah, we talk about this a lot in the Profit Insider Group program because all the people in there, usually a big component of why they're coming to me is that there are too many clients, they're feeling stretched too thin, their process and procedures feel scattered, and yet they want to be in growth mode, but they don't have time in their lives to even grow and work on the background stuff, right? So, which is why we really focus on less clients, more money, charging what you're worth. This way, if you do make a mistake, which everybody makes, you can actually learn from it. Have the time to sit and think, how can I make it better, right? We've all made mistakes in our businesses. It's like our favorite topic.
I am the first to admit and I tell our designers all the time in our coaching programs, like I'm in the trenches with you. I'm screwing things up all the time and learning and growing, and we're all in this together, figuring out how to do this and keep our sanity and overcome burnout and keep going and have the energy to bring our best every day.
Right. The only way to overcome anything is by keeping going.
Yeah.
Right? Stopping is not going to make you overcome it. Stopping is going to make you sit in it, and learning to become like, stop the fear of doing things wrong, right? How many times do we get those messages on our business helpline like, oh my God, this client seems to have a black cloud over the whole project. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And I'm like, okay, you're saying to them, it's happened to me. It's okay. Everyone take a deep breath, realize tomorrow will come. Let's think of a solution, not dwell in the mistake, because that's what's going to get you right into burnout. Because what happens when you make a mistake, Lesley, and you can't get past it? What happens in your life?
Sad, and I just wallow.
I sleep. I sleep. I sit in front of the TV like this.
I turtle. Like I can't get anything else done, or I will distract myself with like, oh, I'll go do the dishes or laundry or something that is really not moving the needle forward or solving the problem. I try to buffer and get away from it, but it's still there. It just nags at you
It
until you
nags
solve
at you.
it.
It does. But I think that what's great about being in a group and having a coach is that you get that person on the other side of the phone saying, it's okay. Have some self-compassion for yourself. Realize that this mistake is a learning experience for you.
Yeah.
Now you'll know next time this is the way you're going to do it. And hearing other people, right? How beneficial is that?
It is amazing to, one designer shows up and is really vulnerable, like, "Hey, here's what I'm struggling with," and it's like everyone else's hands are raised, like, "Yes, I'm going through that too," like, "Here's what I did," or "Thank you for sharing that, that's really encouraging." Having that community, that cohort group together, walking through the year through the Profit Insiders program it's so beneficial to know that you're not alone and to get real life actionable tips to help you overcome burnout.
Right. And having that person to bounce things off of and tell you it's okay. I mean, one of the things I love about what we do in the program is celebrate people's wins,
Yeah.
so that you're not always focused on the negative, right? Because I mean, listen, everyone as a kid, when you got your report card, you didn't focus on the A's, you focused on the C or the B or the D, depending on how efficient you are. Me, I was just happy to get through school. I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm good. Oh yeah, I didn't get an A anywhere. All right, that's okay. I had fun. Like everybody's focus is different, but we tend to focus on the negative. If one teacher made a negative comment, which in my case was always like, if Nancy would stop talking, she would actually be a straight A student. I'm serious. That's exactly. I can go back to old report cards from childhood. So for those of you who have young children who talk too much, they'll grow up to be, something using their talking and actually
They'll do just fine.
They'll do just fine. So try not to tell them to shut up too much. Just tell them, could we have some quiet time? Because that skill of being chatty could end up being something great in their life. But it also can cause burnout. As you know, I have been struggling with high blood pressure for the last year and a half, and it's very tied to talking. And that was causing me to feel burned out. Yeah. So what did I do? I hired another fabulous coach right here to help
do some of the talking.
Do some of the talking and to do some of the coaching, and realize that I had set up my business to burn me out. I literally set up my business to burn me out, never seeing that I was doing that. I mean, obviously, who would do that on purpose? But now I get to teach everyone else how to create a business with balance right from wherever you're starting.
Yeah.
Whether you're starting from the beginning of an interior design business, whether you're 10 years in, 15 years in, 20 years in. I even have clients who are 40 years in the interior design business and have never learned to balance their life. And they're finally like, you know what, I'm going to finally do it so I can enjoy the upcoming possible retirement.
Yeah.
Right? You need balance in your life because of your kids.
Oh my gosh. And it's hard to find. I mean, I am big on time blocking and scheduling and planning. And then there's some days where that just gets thrown out the effing window, and you have
yesterday. Oh no, 2 days ago, right? 2 days
ago, my husband hurt his leg, and he's not that mobile. And my kids both got food poisoning, and it's just like this comedy of errors around me. I'm like, I just want to get some things done, but I didn't. And I would say honestly, it's Thursday morning, and I'm feeling a little bit behind this week, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and trying to get into a place where it's like, it's okay. Like, we can make this happen. Take a deep breath, calm down, because when you are in that like headspace, you cannot get anything done. And it's so counterintuitive, but you have to step back. You have to work on your mindset. You have to remind yourself that like the world is not coming to an end.
Exactly. Well, everything will be there tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, yes, it will.
Everything will be. You know what the other thing is too? And I've done this with a couple of people in the past, not recently, like open up your calendar for today. And if you read it to me over Voxer, I won't make you do it live. I'd be like, say no to that. Call that client and push it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because if you have clients who are not understanding at all that life happens, that's part of what we want to help you adjust. Taking your client, more of your ideal client, and not just chasing the money is really important in order to balance your life and be the CEO of your own business. Not everybody's perfect, and it's okay to say no in order to say yes to something else in your life that's more important to make sure that you're not in burnout. Things like eating a healthy breakfast, stopping for lunch, spending time with your family, sleeping instead of working till 2 o'clock in the morning because you missed a deadline, managing your calendar properly when you have a deliverable, right? You do that phenomenally well.
I try, and then shit happens. But yes, I do my best to sort of look ahead, figure, when is my presentation deadline? What sort of time blocking do I need to do before that? So yeah, I do my best with that, but then I also have to be flexible. And there are some evenings I do need to get some work done to meet a deadline, but that is the exception now, not the rule. And I have been in a place where, I think I've heard it called like the second shift. After the kids go to bed, you're back at your desk and you're getting more, like that's not sustainable. That is going to burn you out, even if you love your work, which I think we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't.
Correct.
But yeah, I think managing your calendar, being flexible, having the courage to say no, calling a client and explaining, hey, I'm really sorry, XYZ happened. In order to give you the best service possible, I need to move our meeting from today until tomorrow, whatever that might be. And as long as you're not doing that every week, I think most clients are very understanding. They're human too. They've likely got families, pets, kids, commitments, jobs that they understand.
Yes.
And the key is not making this a habit of always being in reactive mode. And honestly,
Yes.
and it's something I'm working on too, is leaving enough margin in my calendar that if something gets biffed up, I'm not going to be so behind that I am just frantic for days or weeks making up for a few lost hours or a lost work day.
I think that's great advice. And it's also perspective. Like perspective. And I'm gonna give everyone a really harsh reality. The bottom line is if you're working in nonstop burnout, you could end up getting sick and be forced away from your job
Yeah.
for not just a day, a week, a month, or more. It could be permanent if you're working in burnout for too long. Your body's going to catch up with you. And that's what happened to me. So now it's important for me to teach everyone, don't let it get to the point where your body is telling you you have no choice, because then you're going to fail every client,
Yes,
right?
that's great advice.
So why not think to yourself, if I keep this up, I'm going to get sick and I'm going to be pulled out of the game completely, or I can start learning to set my priorities, learn to time manage, learn to say no to certain things and say yes to the right things, and make sure that you have long-term staying power in the job that you love rather than going to burnout and losing your career possibly.
Yeah.
So that's the real story, guys. It's not just, gee, we're talking about overwhelm and burnout, and it's like, no big deal. Like, I can juggle this. I'm great. You can juggle it until you can't. And your body's going to be the one to
Mic
tell
drop.
you, yeah, you're going to
Yes.
juggle it till you can't. And it happened to
Yeah.
me 3 times in a hospital. It was like, wait, what? I'm a workaholic. I do it all. I raised 3 kids. I grew a business from nothing and da da da. And all of a sudden it was like, like, guess what? Your body's telling you it's time to start balancing your life better. So now I'm on a mission in the Profit Insider program and with my one-on-ones to teach everyone that overcoming entrepreneurial burnout as soon in your life as possible
Yep.
is going to give you a lot longer life and a lot more enjoyable life.
Nancy, one thing I love that you do to help with burnout, I think it's every quarter you take the last week off,
I
and
do.
not necessarily going away, but not having meetings, commitments, and giving yourself that buffer. And I admire that so much. And if you plan for that, it's very doable. You cannot do it reactively, but if you can look ahead, if you can plan your deadlines and your calendar appropriately, you can actually realistically plan your project timelines, project meeting dates, estimate install dates. You can actually take off, maybe it is the last week of every quarter. I know some people take off, the last Friday of every month, try to give themselves that buffer. And then you know what? It's there if you need it.
Correct.
If
You
something
can
happens,
always add it back in.
yeah. But if you just block your calendar and know that you are giving yourself that margin, it's something to look forward to. And I think that can be very motivating if you're going through a busy, stressful season. And I mean, for me, it feels so very privileged to be like, I'm not working today. I'm just taking a day off.
You
And
don't
that
even
is
know what to do
hard.
with yourself.
I know. I'm like, I should be working. And that's part of it too, is I think we're also conditioned to this like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 corporate life. You must be working. Guess what? You're an entrepreneur. You can take Friday off. Boom. And you think about, I can't think of exactly who they are, but high fancy CEO, like world famous executives, like take, every Thursday their calendar is blocked and it's like their thinking day. Like those people are 20 times busier than
Yeah.
you.
Jeff
And they're still
Bezos,
managing to build that into their life.
right, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they all have
Yes.
their learning days, their thinking days. And that is what becoming a CEO of your business becomes, right? So on my 1 week every quarter that I take off, of course, I'm spending time with my fiance, which is amazing, going away or staying home. But I'm also thinking and about my business, and I come up with the best ideas when I'm not in the grind.
It's giving you the space you need to be creative.
Yes.
I mean, again, it feels so counterintuitive, but stepping away from your desk, stepping away from your work is actually when you can do some of your best work.
Yeah. And I know people are listening going, yeah, that'd be nice if I could afford it. Well, I understand the grind. I've been there. I've done it. I've done it for 30 years or more. How many years have I done it? Okay, maybe more because I've been working since I was 12, or maybe even 10. But the bottom line is you can do it now if you have the right skills to do it. If you understand how to charge your worth and get less clients, more money, charge appropriately, have the right words to do that, then all of a sudden your world starts opening up. And some of our profit insiders are already like, gee, I had nothing to do on Friday. What should I do? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's kind of like when your kids say, I'm bored, and you go, good for you.
Yeah. Go
Like,
figure something out. Use
right,
your
go figure some of that.
imagination.
You have time to think about all those things you've always wanted to do and choose one of them if you'd like, right? It happens when you truly become a CEO of your business. Suddenly you're like, hey, it's running, it's going, and I don't have to be in every second of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. And that's where I try to get everyone to, where you're making double or triple what you're making today, and you have more freedom and balance in your life. That is literally what my entire goal is when I coach with somebody. All the little things in between, teaching everything that we teach, is the filler. It's kind of like when you put up tile in a bathroom, right? The tiles are the big things that you have to make decisions on, and the big things in your life, and overcoming overwhelm and not being in a constant state of crazy busy is a tile, and everything you have to learn in order to secure that is the grout. Does that make sense?
I like it. Designer analogy. Well done.
I just came up with that right off the top of my head. But you know what? I'm passionate about this because I won't curse. I messed this up myself in my life, and I want to make sure it doesn't happen to other people.
Yeah.
And if you're already in this state of overwhelm and almost burnout and starting to get sick and getting derailed, stop the train now. And if you're not there yet, but you feel like, oh God, that's going to be me, like, you're in danger of that if you let your calendar just go run amok.
Oh yeah.
You've got young kids.
Mm-hmm. I do. They're 5 and 9. Like, they are still very needy. So work is a huge priority, but it is not my biggest priority right now. I have a husband and a marriage to work on. I have little kids to take care of. I love what I do. And I have to set up this business in a way where my work hours are very limited with little kids. And I have to be profitable, and I have to be making good money to sustain this and to keep my health and sanity. I can't keep showing up for everybody if I am running so thin and so drained and barely getting by. It does not work. If you want to get a minimum wage job, knock yourself out. Go work for someone else, and then don't bring that home with you. But there's so much that we do all the time in this business. We are always thinking about it.
Yeah.
We are always working on it, even if we're not actively working on something. And that requires a level of compensation, a level of income. You are producing so much value for your clients that should be, and you deserve that coming back to you. And so many designers are not only afraid to charge, and that's definitely a mindset thing, but there's this sort of like comparison. And well, these, this person's doing, like, no, screw it. Like, you need to do what's right for you in your life, in your business, with your expertise, it's all so personalized. And that's a big thing that we work on in Profit Insiders, helping people get there. And I wanted to share about that sort of revenue thing. One of our designers on our group call yesterday mentioned they just got their biggest design fee, and it was 40% higher than the highest design fee they had ever charged. And it was kind of like, whoa, like, this works. Like, if you can work on your mindset, if you can get there, you can be making the revenue you need to avoid burnout, to give yourself that buffer in your life where you're profitable and you are sane, like living the dream.
Yes. Imagine if every single client you could get 40% more, how less you would need less clients. Once you learn how to make more money on your furnishing sales, if you're selling furniture, and charging properly for your design and your project management, it is unbelievable how profitable people are becoming in this program. It's actually, I'm like, oh, I think I want to take my own program and become a designer. It's cool to watch. We're getting quadruple, quintuple, and we're waiting for one person, who I don't know if she's watching, to let us know, because she thinks she 6-timed her income in the Profit Insider program. And that is not the rare occasion. That seems to be now becoming the norm, because they're getting the confidence, they're avoiding burnout, they're understanding that mistakes happen and it's okay, and we're going to learn from them, and we're just going to shift and modify. We're helping people not stay locked up and keep moving forward. And that's, I think, the most important part.
Yeah, we're helping people expand into that new space, that more CEO mindset, that business owner, not just, typewriter monkey getting things done.
And you made me think of one last thing, and we'll end with this, I think. When we teach people not to use the word budget, because budget makes you want to sit on your wallet and kind of get smaller, like, no, I'm protecting my money.
Yeah.
Instead, we teach people to use the word investment. Okay. It is the same with coaching. Are you going to say to me after you fill out an application, well, thanks for talking to me for 15 minutes, but I really don't think I have it in my budget to go for coaching? Or you're going to say to yourself, I'm ready to invest in myself and in my business, so I'm not in the same exact spot next year with very little progress. So that's how I leave everybody who decides, I don't think I have the money right now. And I get it. I used to have that mindset also. Now I actually give a lot of money towards things that are investments in myself and investments in my business.
Yeah.
And I invest a lot in my clients because that is my livelihood, right? And your livelihood. So it's important that we're always investing to get to the next level. Otherwise, you're just going to stay spinning in the same spot very often.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. So if you are interested in our Profit Insider for Interior Designer program, which starts May 18th, we meet twice a month. You get a one-on-one with me. You get walkie-talkie access to both of us.
All day, every day. We're here for you.
All day, every day. And the membership site and the key, the designer's ultimate pricing tool, and a website audit and a social media audit and all the other things we give in this program. If you're even on the fence, I promise I won't balk at you, even if you say no in the end. Fill out the application, hop on my calendar for a free 15-minute application review to see if you're a good fit. If I don't think you're a good fit and I don't think you're ready to kind of put in the effort to change your world and change your life, then I'm going to tell you that you're not ready. Let me be the determinant rather than you going, I don't have the money, because I want you to invest in changing your future. And if you're overcoming burnout or overwhelm or difficult clients or not enough money, this is the program for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Go have a great Thursday. Lesley and I will see you next Thursday for Thursday Thoughts, but I'm actually live a lot next week with our sponsors, which will be a fun week. So stay tuned. Talk to you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Lesley.